Jays are on the field. Marco Estrada in the midst of his warm-up tosses. Let's get right to it. Here's Adam Eaton, who's done his best work on the road. Eaton back from an ankle injury that cost him 52 games. He could really be an igniter at the top of the lineup for the Nationals. We didn't see Michael A. Taylor last night. He is in the lineup today. A very good center fielder, a very fast player, and a guy, although he's only hitting .220 on the season, has been hot lately, Tabby.
Held down by the pitching of the Blue Jays yesterday, especially Aaron Sanchez. Marco Estrada gets a start this afternoon. 14th start of the season. Won his only start as a Blue Jay versus Washington 3 years ago. Who did he beat? Max Scherzer in that ball game. He's got a tough assignment this afternoon.
And a first pitch swing and a miss by Eaton to get us underway. 26 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. The shadows are going to roll in middle of the game with this being a 4 o'clock start, but right now it is a brilliant sunny day. Eaton hitting .348 in limited at bats on the season, and he chases a good looking changeup right there, and it's quickly 0-2.
When he has that working with his fastball, he can be very tough. Adam Eaton yesterday scratched out an infield hit, and that is it. He's been the igniter for this team when he is in there, and their hitting coach Kevin Long says that he is huge for their offense. He's a grinder at the plate.
Reaching for it in a one-hopper to the shortstop. Diaz got him. Big stretch by Smoke at the other end.
Well, he doesn't get many ground balls, but when he does, the infield has to be ready. They were playing him to pull. Slices the ball off the end of the bat, breaks it. Diaz gets a great running start, and in one motion fires that ball across the infield to get the first out. He has been playing some kind of shortstop for the Blue Jays.
Definitely has helped solidify the infield defense since he came back off the DL. Here's Trey Turner, the Washington shortstop, as he takes down and away ball one. 257, 7 homers. Stole his 20th base of the season last night. They play him straight up on the infield, around to the opposite field in the outfield, as the changeup catches the corners, says Roberto Ortiz, the home plate umpire, and it's 1-1. And you can already see Kevin Pilar's in the shadows. Teoscar Hernandez is right on the cusp of the shadows out in left field. Ground ball to third. Solarte doesn't have to move an inch to make that play. 2 down. And as you said, Tabby, usually you don't see ground balls when Marco Estrada's out there, but he's gotten a couple of them, expecting to see the ball in the air more.
Yeah, and that's why Curtis Granderson will get the start this afternoon. His 9th start in the outfield. His last start in the outfield came June the 7th. That was against Baltimore. So he's been off a little bit. He's been DHing a little bit more, but they give Randall Grichuk the day off today. So Curtis Granderson will get the start in the outfield. Normally, when there are fly balls hit off the bat of the opposition against Marco Estrada, they're just lazy fly balls and easy pop-ups.
Fastball in for a strike to Bryce Harper. Harper last night went 1 for 3 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts. You can see the average just .225 on the season. Lots of power, taking lots of walks, so a good on-base percentage in his walk year. A free agent at the end of the year.
They've encouraged him to take the walks because of all the injuries that the Nationals have had this year to some of their offensive players. He really hasn't had a whole lot to hit. So there was a time where he was expanding just a little bit too much for him.
A good location on that fastball. 1-2. So here's Harper, one of the game's great power hitters, and Marco Estrada's thrown him 3 fastballs in a row, 88, 88, and 89. But if he's locating, it can be a great pitch for him.
Aaron Sanchez last night really elevated the fastball. Now Marco's fastball is not like Aaron's. His explodes, but I think you can surprise people with that high fastball.
Too high there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Aaron was very good yesterday. Probably the best game that he has thrown in terms of power. His power fastball last night.
6 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts for Sanchez last night. 2-2, and the curveball is golfed into very shallow center, and going back to catch the pop-up is Aledmus Diaz. That's a very nice start for Estrada, getting the Nationals in order in the top of the first. They also have another connection. They were in the same trade, a 3-team deal back in 2009. We'll tell you more about that as time allows. Granderson's going to lead it off. His average up to 253 after that hot stretch in the 6 RBI game that he had a few days ago. Look at these numbers for Granderson over the last 5 games. Again, Smoke in the 2 spots. Solarte, who hit the 2 home runs, is hitting 3rd. And Kevin Pilar has only faced Max Scherzer in 1 game. June of 2015. Home run, single, home run in his 3 lifetime at-bats against Scherzer.
And he's one of the best. Take a look at some of these numbers in his 14 starts this season. He's 10-2 with an ERA of 2. 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 5-time All-Star. He's 4-1 against the Blue Jays in 8 career starts. Strikeouts are his specialty. As you take a look at those, 140 plus of those. 9 double-digit strikeout games already this season. 73 for his career. Double-digit strikeout games, 10th most in Major League history.
Well, as Tabby just told you, he's awfully good. He's one of the best, without question, one of the very best starting pitchers in baseball. You put him up there on a short list with Clayton Kershaw when healthy, Corey Kluber, Chris Sale, Jacob deGrom having a great year.
Everybody for the Houston Astros this season.
A trade we told you about happened back in 2009, a 3-team deal between the Tigers, the Yankees, and the Diamondbacks. Scherzer at that time had only been in the majors about 1.5 years, was a young pitcher with the Diamondbacks. He was traded to the Tigers. Granderson went from the Tigers to the Yankees, and a number of players went in different directions to round out the deal. And there's that changeup down and away. One of his weapons, and he gets Granderson 1 down.
Well, like we were talking about in the open, he's got the power that he'll use against right-handers, fastball, slider, but then he's got the changeup off-speed pitch, the finesse pitches against the left-handers. Changeup, down and away. This is a guy who had 15 strikeouts in an afternoon already this season in 1 game.
He's in year 4 of a 7-year deal with the Washington. Joined them in 2015, won the Cy Young in 16 and again last year in 17. 3 more years, and a guy who is aging extremely well. Max Scherzer is turning 34 in just over a month, but he's as good as he's ever been.
It's power, it's finesse, it's the ability to go attack mode when you need to with that fastball. And then when you need to go finesse, you can use that changeup to the lefties, or you can use your cutter, your slider. He's got all kind of weapons to get you out.
Actually threw an 0-2 fastball right down the heart of the plate, but Smoke fouled it off. Smoke just 1 for 13 in his career against Scherzer over the years.
But the best thing about Max Scherzer might be his bulldog tenacity on the mound. I love that. No wasted pitches. 0-2. Here it is. Here's my best fastball. Let me see what you can do with it.
And that is a fair ball. Started off foul and then rolled over the line into fair territory. Smoke never got out of the box, and he's retired. 2 down.
Looked like a check swing from Smoke. Watch the ball. It's foul. It's foul, and now it's going to roll fair. It's touching that line. Anywhere on the line, that's a fair ball. Heads up play by the catcher Severino to recognize that that ball is a fair ball. It's on the line in an easy second out.
So 2-3 on the put out, 2 down, and here's Yangervis Solarte. Fresh off a 3 for 4, 2 homer and a double night last night, becoming the 9th Blue Jay to homer from both sides of the plate in a game. Second time he's done it in his career. Did it once last year with San Diego. There's one of the breaking balls from Scherzer, and it's 1-1. One of only 10 pitchers in Major League history to win 3 or more Cy Youngs, and he certainly got a shot at number 4 this year. Ground ball down to first. Daniel Murphy getting the start at first today, and the Blue Jays, like the Nationals, go in order.
last night that included a 2-run home run and scoring the go-ahead run in the 7th inning. Now, if you remember, he made a terrific defensive play in the top of the 3rd, and then 2 batters later cranked his 3rd home run of the season. Travis was asked post-game whether he carries a great play on the field with him when he steps into the batter's box. Travis said defense is something he takes pride in. If he has 3 hits in a game and then makes an error, he carries that E4 with him longer than his good plate appearances. Travis said making a cool defensive play is one of the better feelings in the game, outside, of course, of hitting a home run. As far as the Jays getting away from their 2 games on, 1 game off schedule, Travis is getting regular playing time. He says that's helped him a tremendous amount. He said when he had the day off, Dan, his mind would race. He was thinking too much, and by the time he was back on the field, he was mentally exhausted, and that playing time is working out for him. Travis hitting .314 over his last 17 games.
All right, Hazel, thank you. Yeah, he looks like a different guy since he's come back for the minors. He looks, to a certain extent, like the healthy versions of Devon Travis we saw in years past. Blue Jays happy to see that. Here's Anthony Rendon, leading off the 2nd and taking a fastball for his strike from Marco Estrada. Rendon, the 3rd baseman, hitting .263, 6 homers, went 3 for 4 with a double in last night's game. A 6-5 Blue Jays win in an interesting, exciting, and at the end a tense ball game.
Had it all the way for sure. Rendon seemed to be in the middle of everything yesterday. That was his 4th 3-hit game of the season already. He's an underrated player. You pitch him away, he can hit the ball hard the other way. You pitch him in, he can turn on it.
A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike from Estrada, who originally, of course, was drafted by the Washington Nationals. 6th round pick back in 2005, made his major league debut with the Nats in 2008. Just 15 appearances in a Washington uniform in 08 and 09. Spent a lot of that time still down in the minors. Came into his own really as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers in 2012. And spent a few years with Milwaukee before joining the Blue Jays in 2015. But he no doubt still has friends in the Washington organization. 2-2. Curveball fouled off.
I asked him if there was any extra incentive against this team because of where he started. There he is from 2008, 2009, starting with the Washington Nationals. Made a name for himself when he was with the Brewers, and then really has taken it to the next step as a member of the Blue Jays. But I asked him about the extra incentive against Washington. No, not really. He says, I wasn't there long enough. I just want to go out there and continue to do what I've been doing. He's pitched some pretty good ball game his last few times out.
Yeah, last 2 times out for Marco, each time 6 innings. 1 earned run against the Yankees, 2 earned runs against Baltimore, and 1 walk and 15 strikeouts in his last 2 starts.
His last 3 starts he's had 1 walk. That tells me he's been placing the ball where he needs to. His fastball's been good. His changeup's been good. Season high 9 strikeouts last time against Baltimore. Threw more cutters in his last start against the Baltimore Orioles. Right now he's been trying to establish his fastball early in this game.
Got that one up. Rendon hits it a ton, but he pulls it foul into the 500 level down the left field line.
That's what I mean about you pitch him in, he's got the power to hit it a long way to left field. Now if you go away, he can punch the ball the other way. It's a good hitter.
Again, the 3-2. And it's high ball 4. Rendon wins that battle by drawing a walk. So now Daniel Murphy just recently came off the DL. Right knee surgery cost him the first couple of months of the season. DH'd in last night's game, but is at first base today. Remember, Matt Adams suffered that finger injury when he tried to bunt. The ball hit him on the knuckle. So Murphy is at first base today. Adam Eaton gets a day off in the outfield. He's DHing. And this is one of the guys, you hear the term professional hitter. And when they talk about a professional hitter, they're talking about a guy like Daniel Murphy. What do they mean when they say that about him?
Well, he's just so cerebral. I think he has the ability to hit the ball where it's pitched, but he has the ability to make adjustments also. I think when his playing days are over, he's going to make a good hitting coach.
Travis, Granderson in fair territory to make the catch. 1 down. The pitch tracker is brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light MLB cans available now, featuring the Red Sox, Blue Jays, Yankees, Cubs, Mariners, and Expos. And of course, the Nationals used to be the Expos, so you'll see a lot of Expo here in the ballpark. Dave Martinez, of course, the manager of the Nats, used to be an Expo. And when you talk about, when you look at the Washington guide and they talk about franchise records, the Expo years are included in that. Obviously, they're the same franchise, just relocated. Here's Juan Soto, the young 19-year-old, to take a curveball for a strike.
Well, just like those Montreal Expo teams from way back when, they always had great young players. Washington Nationals, same way. Here's one of them.
Changeup, and you would imagine against a guy as young as Soto, Estrada's likely to go heavy on the changeup, not so heavy on the fastball. Right?
I'm just going to show him the fastball. I'm going to put fastball in his mind by showing it to him out of the strike zone, and then just keep throwing changeup after changeup.
Or he can cross him up, because we were all thinking he would give him a changeup, and he just froze him with a fastball.
How about the approach for the youngster with 2 strikes? He chokes up, he crouches down a la Pete Rose, but it's still not good enough as Estrada crosses him up fastball right at the knees. Couldn't throw a better pitch.
Yep, catches the bottom end of the zone, and that's all for Soto. 2 down. Now Michael A. Taylor, the center fielder today for the Nationals. At the knees, 0-1. Taylor not in the lineup last night. With the return of Eaton and the promotion of Soto, Taylor's playing time getting a little bit squeezed. A very good defensive player, very fast player, but hot and cold with the bat.
Right now, he's been hot. He's been hot over his last 2 weeks or so. Dave Martinez had to go to him and say, Michael, stay with me now. Okay, there's the numbers. Stay with me. We're going to move everybody in there, in and out. Just when I call on you, be ready to produce.
Going to try to bunt for a base hit, and he's going to succeed. Bunt single for Taylor. Rendon to second.
There are some people in baseball who, with 2 outs and a runner at first base, don't like this play. It really doesn't accomplish a run being scored. What you're trying to do as a hitter with a runner at first base and 2 outs is hit a double to try and score them. But Taylor catches Solarte back, drops the ball in front of him, and now with 2 outs, he's got to deal with Defoe.
Remember Defoe, the second baseman, hitting .241, 3 homers. And he lays off that low changeup for ball 1. Defoe went 1 for 4 in last night's game, had a base hit and stole a base in the 9th inning. The Nationals stole 3 bases in last night's game. This is not a base stealing situation here, of course, but something for Luke Maile to keep an eye on behind the plate. And a fly ball to right field. Into the shadows is Granderson, and that's all for the Nationals. A walk and a bunt single, but no damage done off Estrada.
20,000 fans will receive this Blue Jays red hat. Fans are encouraged to get to the ballpark early to take part in our pre-game festivities. Great seats still available. All you have to do is visit BlueJays.com for details.
Can you believe it's almost Canada Day? It'll be the Detroit Tigers who are in town. That's a Sunday Canada Day this year, as part of a 4-game series. Also a Monday game between the Tigers and the Blue Jays that weekend.
3 straight 1 o'clock games,
Yep.
I believe, against the Tigers.
Mets and Yankees also in on that homestand. Teoscar Hernandez gets his first ever look at Max Scherzer. Hernandez 262, 11 home runs on the season. He'll be followed by Kendrys Morales and then Kevin Pilar.
What makes Max Scherzer so tough, he's got the power of Randy Johnson and the finesse of a Greg Maddux. And on top of that, he studies, he works, he'll be in the clubhouse hours before the game going over every hitter, finding their weakness, and he can tell by them taking one swing how he's going to attack them. If they've got a big swing, he's going to keep the ball away from them.
Just missed.
3 really good takes right there from Hernandez.
Like 2, 3, and 4 were so close you can't even see 2 on PitchCast. They were all right in the same spot, but they're all going Hernandez's way. Same spot again. This time a swing, 3 and 2.
That's what I mean about being smart, being able to adapt. I'm sure he has done his homework taking a look at Teoscar Hernandez and knows that he can turn anybody's fastball around. So a couple of sliders and now a high fastball.
At 96, 1 down. If you go back to 2011 and look at who has the most wins in baseball, it's Scherzer, and it's not even really close. And whether you look at opponent's batting average, strikeouts, ERA, whatever you want to do, I mean, that's a pretty good group right there. And what Justin Verlander's doing this year is remarkable as well.
Wins. I think that's what starting pitchers and pitching is all about. Can you pitch deep enough into the ball game to give your team a chance to win? And he tops everybody. You know, it's not just the days that he pitches that he's tough. I asked Dave Martinez today, the manager of the Nationals, what sets him apart, and he says, well, you see him when he pitches. I see him the other 4 days, and he said you wouldn't believe how much work he does in preparing for each start. He said he's an everyday player who happens to be a starting pitcher.
Right.
If it's in the weight room, if it's in the film room, he says he even takes batting practice a couple of times a week, takes 75 swings.
He loves to hit.
He loves to hit.
Yeah.
In fact, he's really upset that this is in an American League park because he wanted to hit today.
He has a stolen base this year, and it was like a legit stolen base. Nothing funky. They've also used him as a pinch runner in other situations. He's hitting .265 this season.
He gets it. There aren't too many starting pitchers who treat every day like he's an everyday player. He comes to compete every day, even when he's not pitching.
Look at the movement on that pitch. 2 down. And now Kevin Pilar, who, as we mentioned, has only seen Scherzer once. It was in a game in June 2015 in Washington. The Blue Jays were scuffling. They were 23 and 30. This was the second game of a day-night doubleheader. And Pilar, for the first time anywhere in his life, Little League, high school, college, minors, never before had he hit 2 home runs in a game. And he did it in the big leagues off one of the best in baseball. That game started an 11-game winning streak for the Blue Jays as they went from 23 and 30 to 34 and 30. And of course 2015 is the year they eventually would trade for Price and Tulowitzki, win the division, and you know the rest.
That 11-game win streak, I think, gave them the ability to say, hey, we got a shot here. Let's go out and trade for all of those players that you just mentioned. If he doesn't hit that home run, I don't know if they have an 11-game win streak. I don't know if they go out and make all those trades and win the American League East. And if there's no American League East, there's no bat flip. I mean, think about the history that has happened to the Blue Jays because of that one game.
So you're saying Kevin Pilar changed the course of the world as we know it by hitting 2 home runs
for Blue Jay land?
Yes.
I can make an argument for
you
that.
Can.
I can make
you
an
absolutely
argument.
can. Yeah.
Because I was there and we had gotten shut out. We, the Blue Jays, were shut out in Game 1 by Jordan Zimmerman, and it was low. We were coming off of a bad series against Minnesota. And Pilar's home run really turned around the season.
Not this time, though. Scherzer strikes out the side in the bottom of the second.
Presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Beautiful day here in downtown Toronto. 26 sunny degrees. Ian Schulman and Pat Tabler, Hazel May, middle game of 3 between the Blue Jays and the Nationals. And it is scoreless going to the third. Marco Estrada against Max Scherzer. And both have been very sharp. There's only one hit through the first 2 innings. It was a bunt single for the Nationals' Michael A. Taylor. Here's their number 9 hitter, the catcher, Pedro Severino. Estrada, when you talk to him over the last couple of weeks about how things are going, he feels the changeup is the best it's been all year, and that has allowed him to pitch up with the fastball more effectively. The 2 pitches work in tandem very well. They're very important. And the more the changeup is on their minds, the better the fastball can be. But as we've talked about, I'm sure as Pete Walker has talked about a lot, just the odd curveball, the odd cutter, just to make the guessing a little bit tougher for opposing hitters.
That's where you have to add in that third pitch. And the cutter was a good one for his last start. He's still going to use that changeup a lot. He's got the highest percentage of changeups in Major League Baseball. 36% of the time he's going to use his changeup. But in that last start against the Baltimore Orioles, he doubled his usage of the cutter. You just put one more pitch in the back of the minds of some of those hitters, and it just makes everything else so tough to hit.
Line to third, and Solarte is there to snare it.
That ball was hooking right at Solarte. He gets an inside fastball. He turns on it. Looks like he actually caught the ball behind him because it was hit so hard. This gets by him, Dan. It's extra bases for sure.
Came off the bat at 105.8 miles per hour. But it's an out. There's a curveball dropped into Adam Eaton for a strike.
Now he's got that in the back of his mind as a hitter. That 0-1, just whoop, drop that thing in there.
Drops another one in there. Foul to back 0-2. And again, and we say this every time that Marco starts a game, he never shakes off the catcher. Whatever Martin, or in today's case Maile, put down, he throws.
All the homework then goes to the catcher. What we're going to use. Now, he might go out to him and say, hey, how's your fastball feel today? Does it feel good? Do you feel like you can put it where you need to? How about your changeup? And then he'll meld that together with the game plan of what they want to do to certain hitters. It's like another curveball. And Luke, during the game, will say, hey, his fastball's pretty good. Let's establish it early and put it in the minds of these hitters.
And you see the fastball now 3 pitches ago with the index finger, the fastball to the outside part of the plate. That time Maile wanted it to the inside part of the plate. And you'll see from Maile sometimes too, when he calls the fastball, he'll raise his hand or raise his wrist at the last second. Here comes the changeup. They like the fastball up. They like the changeup down. And as you said, Tabby, when the changeup is good, you get a lot of these, a lot of pop-ups, and Pilar takes charge.
His changeup is so good. I think you could tell the hitters it's coming and they're not going to hit it. They just can't wait long enough on that changeup. And if you start catching those hitters looking for it and waiting back and having good swings at the changeup, that's when Luke Maile has to recognize and go fastball in.
Changeup in for a strike to Trey Turner, who grounded out his first time up. Curveball pops out of the mitt of Maile, a ball and a strike.
His numbers against the cutter aren't great when you look at the batting average and things like that, but it's just one more thing to think about.
Haven't seen more than maybe 1 or 2 cutters so far today, right? Seen a few curveballs.
He can throw one here if he wants to, because he threw a straight fastball. Fastball on the outside corner. Now he can expand a little bit and cut the ball if he wants to. Well, fastball in.
Boy, pretty good location, but Turner wouldn't bite.
I think the Washington Nationals are saying, I thought this guy was a changeup guy. He's throwing a lot of fastballs early on.
So he's missed inside with a fastball, missed outside with a fastball. Doesn't want to lose Turner and have to deal with Harper with a man on. Diving stop, Solarte. Got him at first. What a play on one of the fastest guys in baseball, Trey Turner, as Solarte makes 2 terrific defensive plays here in the top of the 3rd. Great reaction time on the first. Great arm strength on this one. ever been, but this is still impressive. Max Scherzer is on pace to have the highest strikeout per 9-inning ratio in baseball history for a starting pitcher.
That's impressive because I don't see Nolan Ryan on that list anywhere. The all-time strikeout king.
Aledmus Diaz swings at the first pitch, pops it up into foul territory, and Rendon makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Here's another number for Max Scherzer. First pitcher in Major League history to produce 15 strikeouts in one game in 6 1/3 innings. That's 19 outs or fewer. He did that on May the 6th. So he got 19 outs, 15 of them on strikeouts. The first pitcher in Major League history to do that.
His Major League debut way back when with Arizona was in relief. He came up and went 4 1/3 in relief. No hits, no walks. Struck out 7. His first ever big league appearance.
And they traded him?
They traded him after the next season.
You know what I think? I remember reading some articles about that they were worried that he might get hurt. He's got a very unorthodox type of delivery, but it's nasty. And for me, watching his delivery, it looks like he takes less pressure off of his arm because he throws it almost 3/4.
He's made 30 or more starts 9 years in a row. He's been healthy. He's had a healthy decade as one of the top starting pitchers in baseball. He's retired all 7 batters he's faced so far today. 2 balls and a strike on Luke Maile. Getting the start here this afternoon. Russell Martin out of the lineup. 95 upstairs, 2-2. And you're right, there's no messing around between pitches. There's no indecision. Right back on the rubber and right back to work.
No wasting pitches. 0-2. Here it is. I'm going to come right after you. I'm not going to waste any pitches.
And I don't know if people at home can hear it like we can hear it in our headsets here. He's a grunter out there. I mean, he's working hard, but he puts everything he's got into every pitch.
Doesn't look like he's slowing down at all.
Maile giving him a battle. Catching his breath a little bit after 6 pitches to Maile. And a fastball at 97 for his 5th strikeout.
Yeah, I had to reach back for a little something extra. Opponents this year are hitting 150 against his fastball. That by far is the lowest batting average on the fastball this season. The major league average, major league hitters hit 266 against the fastball. They're hitting 150 against Scherzer's fastball.
He's got a bit of a lead in the National League strikeout department. He's second in ERA behind only Jacob deGrom. There's Devon Travis to take a strike.
And that's what helps him to that big lead. The use of the fastball and the ability to just blow it by guys. I know if I'm throwing fastballs and they're hitting 150 against it, I'm keep throwing it.
Well, he threw it there, and Devon Travis, who's been hot, lines it into right field for a base hit.
Timing's been much better at the plate for Devon. I asked him about the home run that he hit in last night's ball game. He said, you know what, to tell you the truth, I was just trying to shoot the hole between the first baseman and the second baseman, and that ball cut back. It was a changeup that cut back over the inside part of the plate. Because I had a good approach, I was able to catch the ball out in front and knock it out of the ballpark. But his timing has been much better, where he's getting himself ready to hit the fastball.
Top of the order, Curtis Granderson, who struck out to lead off the bottom of the first. Shift on for the Nationals. And there's a curveball, slower breaking ball there. Doesn't throw many of those.
He will to lefties. He'll throw a few more off-speed pitches to left-handed batters.
2-2. 37 pitches, 28 of them for strikes. All-Star games in Washington this year. I think I got a pretty good guess who might start the All-Star game for the National League this year.
I think we're looking at him.
Yeah, I'll take him. You can have the field. How's that?
All right.
Dave Martinez had interviewed for a number of other managerial positions and all. He always heard good reports, always seemed to finish as the runner-up. In fact, he interviewed for the Nationals job back in 2013 when Matt Williams got the job. Then I went to Dusty Baker after that, but now Martinez, 53 years old, former Expo, briefly a Blue Jay as well. In his first big league managing position, a bench coach for 10 years under Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay and then in Chicago. Up the middle, diving stop Turner, and not in time. Granderson beats it out to keep the inning alive.
Trey Turner, the shortstop, was pulled over on the right side of the infield with the shift. He got to it, but he just couldn't get enough on the ball. No chance to get the runner at second base. He was the guy in the middle, so no chance to flip it. So his only play was over first base. Couldn't get enough on it. Longer throw. There was a play like that last night in the Seattle-Boston game where Dee Gordon went to center field and made a play, but they had an out at second base. He was the shift guy, so nobody to flip it to.
Seattle winning again, beat the Red Sox 7-6 last night. They seem to win every day, and they seem to win every day by 1 run. Their 22nd one-run win on the season already.
Edwin Diaz has 26 saves already.
Wow.
26.
Seattle and Houston neck and neck in the American League West. Even though the run differential is way different. Here's Smoke, 2 on 2 out. And a changeup taken down and away for ball 1. They continue to have the shift on, as Smoke almost always sees from the left side of the plate. Little check swing tapper right up the third baseline that stayed on the chalk, and Smoke was thrown out on that back in the first.
Smokey broke an 0 for 23 with a double yesterday. That's a good sign whenever he's starting to drive the ball into the gaps.
Throw down to second, and it sails into center field. And I think the home plate umpire, Roberto Ortiz, may be saying, I inadvertently interfered with the catcher. That's why the throw sailed. Play is dead. Runners go back. And now John Gibbons wants an explanation.
Well, I think it's a easy explanation. Trying to stay in there to watch the pitch, watch the umpire look down at the pitch, and he gets hit. And right away he said, no, inadvertent contact with the umpire. And there had to be a reason for Severino to throw the ball into center field, missed that badly.
So the runners go back. And the count is 1-0 on Justin Smoke. Now the second pitch, the scoreboard is showing 1-1 here, but the second pitch had to count, right? So
sure.
Isn't it 2 balls and a strike?
There it is. They changed it on it.
Should be 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah.
He's thrown 3 pitches here. Nasty breaking ball, 2-2. Travis out at second, Granderson at first, 2 down. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third. Yeah, Granderson's like an extra coach for Travis. Those two are talking all the time.
And he's got his eye on him too, just in case he takes off.
A lot of movement there, and you see Severino kind of waving to everybody, just telling them full count. Runners will be on the move. Granderson acknowledging from Luis Rivera that he's got the sign. 3-2, and they'll be moving. And a step off by Scherzer. Travis scampers back, and the Blue Jays may be fortunate that Turner wasn't closer to second base at the time.
Again, because of the shift, he's got to play deep. You're the runner, make sure he goes home. And he stepped off, and he was out in no man's land.
Scherzer about to throw his 20th pitch here in the bottom of the third, his 45th pitch of the afternoon. There go the runners, and a swing and a miss. Got him with a change. 6 strikeouts for Scherzer as the Jays leave a couple of men on.
Buffalo with the first pick overall. Montreal at number 3. Ottawa, Vancouver, and Edmonton also have top 10 picks. Should be lots of action, Dan. The NHL Draft Friday right here on Sportsnet.
And Hazel, little action yesterday. The Canadiens picking up Max Domi in a deal. Interesting stuff heading into the draft. No score here. Top 4. Nationals and Blue Jays. And Bryce Harper leads it off against Marco Estrada. First pitch swinging. He pops it up. Maley in foul territory. Makes the play, 1 down.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
So Harper 0 for 2 on a couple of pop-ups today. And the batter will be Anthony Rendon. And Marco Estrada's been really good. The only hit is a bunt single. He's walked 1, struck out 1. A couple of fine defensive plays behind him, both from Yangervis Solarte down at third. One a screaming line drive off the bat of Pedro Severino at almost 106 miles an hour. And then a diving backhanded stop against Trey Turner, and from a knee threw across the diamond to get him.
You know, one thing we've noticed now, we've played what, 70 games into the season for the Blue Jays. The new infielders on the left side of the infield have really good arms. Solarte threw out that runner at first base from his knees, and Diaz at shortstop has a underrated good arm. Accurate. He made that play, the first batter of the ball game, look easy.
I think you can make a case their defense the last 8-9 games has probably been the best it's been all season. On the last road trip through Philadelphia, Boston, Detroit, it was not good at all. But even though they got swept down in Tampa Bay, that was mostly because they didn't hit. The defense has been good.
I think correlates with the return of Diaz at shortstop, the return of Grichuk out into the outfield. Everybody getting a little bit more comfortable with themselves. So the defense, you got to be pleased with what you have seen lately.
Putting Teoscar Hernandez in left field, leaving him there where he appears to be more comfortable, with Grichuk back in right field on a fairly regular basis.
And let's throw Devon Travis into that mix also at second base. He made a couple of really fine plays last night, and he was saying today, hey, I'm getting a chance to play with a little bit more regularity, and I'm getting my rhythm defensively. We always talk about having rhythm as an offensive player.
A play for Teoscar in the shadows, 2 down. And 6 in a row now set down by Estrada. You can see him shaking his head. Didn't like where he left that pitch, and it was hit hard, but fortunately close enough for Hernandez for him to go get it. 2 down and the base is empty for Daniel Murphy. You don't see Murphy take many swings like that.
Knee surgery. So your swing is built from the ground up. So you got to make sure your legs are strong.
Travis is there to make a nice play. And Estrada needs only 9 pitches to retire the Nationals in order here in the top of the 4th. Some good defense behind Estrada today, and a big smile on Travis's face after out number 3. We've seen some good defense today. We saw him break out the lumber last night.
3-0. That's a 3-0 home run right there from the right side. He didn't get large. And then that's really the game winner right there. The big home run against Miller. In both of those swings, he was under control. His body was under control. He didn't overswing. I think at times he tries to swing too hard to try and get base hits. But he was under control, got that hit early in the ball game to help relax his swings. I'll tell you what, the bat was flying through the zone last night.
He went after that first one hard, fouled it off with the ground out in the first inning today. Solarte is now 2 for 8 with 3 walks against Scherzer, and that's better than most guys can say. Through 3 innings, Scherzer's given up 2 hits. He has not walked a batter. He struck out 6. The hits belong to Travis and Granderson. And Scherzer a little frustrated as he misses with back-to-back fastballs.
Well, he's such a competitor. You know, he'll do all the work before the ball game, and then when it starts, you know, he wants perfection. Missed with that fastball.
And now Solarte's the one who's unhappy. Who's going to take it? Rendon. Says to Severino, get out of here, man. Let's send it to Jamie. A pretty important part of that rotation, and Cleveland, of course, struggling in the bullpen. They're the best team in the American League Central, but that's being the best team in the worst division in baseball, and it has not been smooth sailing for the Indians so far this year.
They're the only team over 500 in that division. Still, they have a 3.5 game lead. They are by far, I think, the class of that division. They just have to get on one of those runs like they had last year. 20, 23,
22, I think.
Yeah, 22. Yeah. Whatever it was ridiculous.
A little bit outside, a ball and a strike to Teoscar Hernandez, who struck out in the second. All 6 of Scherzer's strikeouts today have been of the swinging variety. Man.
Wow.
I mean, this at bat could be over already. Instead, it's 2-1. Tell you, Teoscar really must be seeing it today.
He's seeing it. He's not even offering at it. But Scherzer's not getting upset. Everything right on the corners, and he hasn't gotten a call this at bat.
Hernandez looks like he's taken all the way on 3-1 right there, and it's a full count. Andres Morales on deck.
Got him last time with a 3-2 slider.
And a miss down and away for ball 4.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful day in Toronto. And a scoreless game between the Nationals and the Blue Jays, with the roof peeled back here at Rogers Center. Marco Estrada and Max Scherzer both pitching very well. Scherzer just had really his first bad miss of the game as he walked Hernandez, and a man on for Kendrys Morales.
It looked like, Dan, a 3-2 changeup to Hernandez. About 85 miles an hour, and he missed badly. He doesn't throw a lot of changeup to right-handed batters.
And a fastball pumped in, and just like that, it's 0-2. You can see Scherzer staying a long time in the set position before that last pitch. Just wanted to mess up the timing of Hernandez in case Teoscar had any thoughts on running. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
These types of games, a lot of times they're settled by either a home run or a mistake. Somebody makes a mistake defensively because the pitching's so good. Dave Martinez in his young career has been in plenty of these already.
Nationals a game and a half back of Atlanta for top spot of the National League East. The Braves here in Toronto on Tuesday for a quick 2-game series. One, 2. That's a foul ball. It hit the foot of Morales on its way into fair territory.
Yeah, he's got that pad on the shin and the ankle and the top of his shoe, but he's still got it. That hurts. Ball down and in. He just can't keep it fair. He missed all of it. Missed all of the padding.
Up on the shin. Shakes it off and ready to get back in there with a ball and 2 strikes. Shift on. A lot of room on the left side. Lead at first by Hernandez. And that's caught it short. Throw back to first. Not in time. That's actually Rendon, the third baseman over there in the shift, who made the catch for the second out. So Hernandez back to the bag with 2 down, and now Scherzer will face Kevin Pilar. Struck Pilar out back in the second. Mentioned it earlier if you weren't with us. Pilar 3 for 3 with a couple of homers off Scherzer in the only other game in which they've met back in 2015.
You know, this might be a chance to try and get into scoring position. It's tough to string hits against Max Scherzer. So you have a walk. He's thinking the same thing. You have a walk. Now you have 2 outs. They're 0 for 4. Scherzer 0 for 4 in steal attempts against him. They haven't thrown anybody out when he's on the mound. This might be a chance for John Gibbons to gamble and try and get a runner into scoring position.
Tim Leeper talking to Teoscar Hernandez down at first. Raw speed, Hernandez pretty good. Base stealing instincts, timing, that sort of thing, still a work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress, but you got to take a chance. He's 3 for 4. 3 out of 7. He's been thrown out 4 times this year.
Pilar taken all the way. Might be the best one he sees. One ball, 2 strikes now on Pilar. Those are the 2 guys who have the base hits for the Blue Jays today, back to back with 2 down in the third. But then Scherzer struck out Justin Smoke. And now base runner with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Still no score in this game. Scherzer throwing over a couple of times, varying his time in the set position.
He can take a bigger lead if he wants to at first base. He is getting back easy.
And a swing and a miss to end the bottom of the 4th. 7 strikeouts now for Scherzer. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddall in the Samsung broadcast studio.
baseball with MLB.tv. Watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. And guys, I think it's the little white stuff from the dandelions floating around.
Oh, we were just wondering about that. Some of the players were talking about it during batting practice today, how distracting it can be. And you see some of that stuff floating around as, you know, a fastball is coming in at 90 miles an hour at the same time. Here's Juan Soto. If you weren't with us last night, 19 years of age. Just called up a couple of weeks ago, hitting well over 300. Put up huge numbers at 3 different levels this year, A, high A, double A. Estrada fed him a couple of changeups in his first at bat, then struck him out with a fastball. 1-1 after that great changeup here in this at bat.
They've had injuries, the Washington Nationals, their share of injuries. There's another changeup. Ryan Zimmerman has gone down. Matt Wieters, Murphy, Eaton, Anthony Rendon has spent some time on the disabled list. If all of those guys don't get hurt, we might not even see this guy right here. Remember, he started in Hagerstown, A-ball this year. So it's almost out of necessity that they've had to bring him into the big leagues.
Yet another changeup, and he bounces one out to Travis for out number 1. Now, a lot of people say, okay, well, Soto, Guerrero. Now, Guerrero's injured now, but before Guerrero got hurt. But, I mean, no two situations are alike. And Washington is clearly a contending team, clearly expects to be a contending team. And they had some guys out with some long-term injuries. Brought up Soto, and he may not be going anywhere. He may be here to stay right now the way that he's playing.
If he keeps hitting the way he's hitting.
Yep.
Remember, this is just the first time through, and he's just 19 years old. Catch lightning in a bottle for a while, and then maybe you send him back down and let him get a few more at bats under his belt. It's a situation they're going to monitor. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Michael A. Taylor with a bunt single his first time up. That's the only hit that the Nationals have off Marco Estrada. Curveball bounced foul.
That's another reason why I didn't like the bunt with 2 outs and a runner at first base. You gave away your best secret. Save it for when you really need it. Maybe leading off of an inning in a tie game, or you're batting it early in an inning in a close game. Don't give it away.
Waves through that high changeup. 2 down.
Take on any project with Home Hardware. Proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
5th inning here at Rogers Center on a great day in downtown Toronto with Pat Tabler, Hazel May. I'm Dan Schulman. No score. Nationals and Blue Jays. Marco Estrada coming off a couple of really good starts and maybe has even taken it up a notch here today. Although, as Joe Siddle mentioned, after the last half inning, he's had some really good defense behind him. They've hit some balls hard at people, and the Blue Jays have been up to the task defensively so far today.
When you're throwing strikes and you're working quickly, everybody's engaged and they're ready to make great plays for you. Solarte's made a couple already. Devon Travis has made one. Diaz, the shortstop, has made one.
You know what you're seeing from Estrada today, too? You're seeing all kinds of pitches around the edges of the strike zone. You're not seeing many right in the heart of the plate. He's not missing in spots where he can really get hurt.
What, 4 games now? He's had 2 walks. So the command and control is there.
Pete Walker has seen Aaron Sanchez continue to build on his recent success. Same for Marco Estrada. You know what Jay Happ's going to give you as the rotation is starting to show signs of coming back together again. Sam Gaviglio will start tomorrow. Marcus Stroman is going to make a rehab start at Double-A Monday and could get up to 75-80 pitches. Stroman is in the ballpark here today, and who knows what happens after that if that one goes well on Monday.
If he gets up to 75 or 80 pitchers, we'll see him in Los Angeles, I'm sure.
Maile there to catch the pop-up. That's another 3 up, 3 down inning for Estrada, who has now set down 10 in a row. Coming your way tonight, two of the top teams in the American League, the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners. At 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. Seattle won last night. The Mariners are 20 games over 500. 45 and 25. The Red Sox are 25 games over 500. And they're both in a big struggle within their own division. Meanwhile, look who's here. The Calder Cup champion Toronto Marlies are in the house. Just got a nice, big, loud ovation here at Rogers Center. Congrats to the Marlies. Needed all 7 games to do it, but they got it done. Now, if they could just, you know, some of those players get up there. Let's take it up a level, and it's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah.
They're getting there, but
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
You know the last year it happened? Do you know the last year?
67.
Very good. Yeah. Look at you.
That's the only thing I know.
Diaz shoots one down the right field line, but just foul.
We had that promo just now about Boston and Seattle. You know, if the season ended today, they would face each other in the wild card. Right?
Yep.
And what a game it was last night. If you're able to stick around and watch the end of that, they got up 6-3, the Boston Red Sox, but lost late. It's a great game.
It's still the first half of the season, but there are 4 teams in the American League on pace to win 100 games. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros, and the Mariners. You look at the American League, and with a couple of exceptions, I mean, you got some great teams and you got some teams really scuffling. The National League is a much different situation. There are more teams in the hunt, more of a middle class, if you will, in the National League than there is in the American League.
There isn't the super teams, if you will, that you see in the American League. Houston, that's a super team. Yankees, Red Sox, they're very talented.
Best record in the National League belongs to the Milwaukee Brewers, 42-27. A game and a half up on the Cubs in the National League Central. Little squibber up the first baseline. Check out the English on that ball, and Scherzer will just make the play unassisted, 1 down.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
A pitcher's duel here at Rogers Center in Toronto between Max Scherzer and Marco Estrada. No score, bottom of the 5th. Just 1 hit for the Nationals, just 2 hits for the Blue Jays. And here's Luke Maile. Struck out his first time up. One of 7 strikeouts for Scherzer through 4 1/3. Slider for a strike. The backup catchers sometimes seem to get the short end of the straw in terms of when they get to play, don't they?
Yeah, he's been basically playing day games after night games. He's played that 3rd game when the Blue Jays were going Russell 2 on 1 off. Today he gets Max Scherzer. I'm sure he's faced Chris Sale. I believe he's faced Chris Sale already this season. I mean, that's tough. But you'll know the day ahead. The manager will come up to you and will say, okay, look, here's what I'm thinking. I want you to catch this guy day game after a night game. You're going to be in there tomorrow. And you deal with it.
Yeah, you take your playing time where you can get it.
You deal with it. I was always the caddy to John Olerud my last year when Randy Johnson pitched. So I'm like, okay, we're playing Seattle. We got Randy Johnson. I know I'm going to be in there.
Go get him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll take it.
Go get a couple of knocks and
sure.
And thanks.
Go sit back down.
Well, second at bat in a row where Mahle has given Scherzer a battle, fouling off some pitches, extending the at bat. If nothing else, if you can just maybe get the pitch count up a little bit, maybe you can get him out of there a little bit earlier.
Get into the bullpen. How about this guy right here? Is this a lunch pail type of guy?
He's coming untucked.
Yeah. I'm going to give it everything I've got. My jersey's coming out.
Got hit by a changeup, and Mahle will take his base.
There's the changeup. I think that's what he threw to Hernandez, Teoscar, to walk him last inning, and he throws another 2-strike changeup to a right-hander and loses it. Loses control of it. Doesn't do that very often, hitting batters.
Here's number 9 hitter Devon Travis. Had a base hit to right field his first time up. Runner is going. The hit and run is on as Travis sends it foul out of play. Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. You can't sit back. You just can't sit back and let Scherzer do his thing. You're not going to string hits together against this guy. You got to force the action so you can hit and run. It might seem like an odd pair to hit and run with, but Devon Travis has been swinging the bat a little bit better. Luke Mahle, the element of surprise, taking off at first base. So there are ways to stir things up. You just, like I said, you can't sit back and take it. He's too good.
They play him straight up on the infield. Middle infielders at double play depth. And a fly ball driven to deep left field. Travis has given it a ride and has hit it out. What a couple of days for Travis. Homers last night, and now homers off Scherzer to give the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead.
Little by little, you can see Devon's timing at the plate starting to come around. He's got power in that swing. But when the timing's off, it always seems like you're late. You're a little tardy. You can't get the barrel to the ball. You can't catch it out in front. But he's starting to load up. He's starting to get that lower half into his swing, and we're starting to see extra base hits come off of his bat. Watch the movement in the swing. Backup slider, cement mixer. Just spun over the middle of the plate. Devon times it up for another home run, his 4th of the season.
Boy, you got to feel good for him. All the injuries, demoted to the minors this year, just wanting a chance to get healthy and play. And the Thunder's coming back to the bat.
It's there. He's got that in that swing. Hard working. I mean, you wish good things for a kid like that.
Third time he's homered in consecutive games in his career.
See all the movement that he has prior to the swing? That's his prep work. That's his prep to get the bat head going. He's timing it up nicely now.
Maley's saying, good job fouling that one off on the hit and run so you could hit a homer a couple of pitches later. There's Granderson. His infield hit back in the third. Career hit number 1,700 for Curtis, the 24th active player to achieve that goal. Off the end of the bat to left field. Room there for Soto. And that's out number 2. The 8th home run given up this season by Max Scherzer, as Travis hits his 4th of the season, and it's 2-0 Blue Jays here in the 5th. And you know what? I'm going to sit right down beside the hitting coach.
Yeah.
Talk to him some more.
Let's talk about what we're doing. Can never take that away when you hit a home run like that off of a great pitcher. Those seem to feel just a little bit better.
Justin Smoak's 0 for 2. Scherzer's pitch count beginning to climb ever so slightly as well. Blue Jays have done a pretty good job at times fouling pitches off and extending at bats up into the 80s right now. Now he's a guy who they let go over 100 with the regularity. He's been over 110 a couple of times.
He threw 121 pitches against the Dodgers about 4 starts ago.
That just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Not many guys are given the freedom to do that. And he's frustrated right now.
Yep, fighting it just a little bit.
Big swing and a foul off by Smoak. 2-2. Butch Kobe on the left, hitting coach for the Blue Jays. Seems like when 2 or 3 guys come out of it, 2 or 3 other guys go into it. They haven't really been clicking on all cylinders at any point this season, with the exception maybe of the first couple of weeks of the year. But even then they weren't. They're just the guys who were hot were really hot.
Coming up with clutch hits.
Yep. Swing and a miss to get Smoak. Number 8 on the afternoon for Scherzer. But the big story at the bottom of the 5th. Devon Travis homers for the 2nd game in a row. And it's 2-0 Jays at the end of 5. Jays have a 2-0 lead with Father's Day just 24 hours away. A 2-0 lead on a Devon Travis home run in front of a nice big crowd on a beautiful sunny afternoon. Marco Estrada back to work. Pedro Severino leads it off. Line one hard down to third. Great play made by Yangervis Solarte. Well, now's where the Blue Jays, in a situation like this, the so-called shutdown inning. You get a couple of runs, you get a lead, go out and get them the next half inning. That has not been a strength of the Blue Jays this year. Now Estrada's been dealing today. We'll see if he can just keep it rolling.
Yeah, I think you put it on cruise control and let him go. He has had all of his pitches working right now. He's thrown 72 pitches, just 20 of them outside the strike zone. That's how automatic he has been so far today. I want to watch the Washington Nationals now coming up for their third at bat after this at bat here. See if they start to make any adjustment to Estrada's changeup. Teams have had success against him when they sit on his changeup. We've seen Tampa Bay in the past do that, the Yankees, but they see him more. They see Estrada so much more playing within the same division.
And no pattern from Estrada today. I think he's thrown 5 fastballs to Severino. 5 pitches, 5 fastballs. And again, this is Maley. The Estrada always throws whatever the catcher puts down, but no discernible pattern at all for Marco Estrada today. Here it comes again. 6 fastballs struck him out.
Third strikeout of the afternoon for Marco Estrada, and you're right. He's saying, I'm going to establish that fastball and keep throwing it to Pedro Severino. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. That is a well-placed fastball right at the letters of that uniform where you can't catch up to it.
You wouldn't think that a guy who throws 88 to 90 with his fastball would be throwing that fastball up in the zone on purpose, but he is. That's where he has his success with his fastball.
Well, if you combine that with his changeup, and his changeup might be the best in all of baseball, that 88 to 90 mile an hour was more like 93 to 94. So you can pitch up in the strike zone.
Change up, weak ground ball towards third. Solarte with an easy play, 2 down. Quick timeout now for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in theaters June 22nd.
Marco Estrada is on a roll right now. He has set down 12 in a row. He's given up just 1 hit through 5 2/3. Trey Turner 0 for 2. Curveball for a strike. This guy looks like the Estrada from 2015, 2016. Left center field. And it'll drop for a base hit, and with Turner's speed, he is easily into second base.
Looked like there might have been a little miscommunication out there in the outfield. Who was going to take that ball off the bat? You can see Hernandez and Pilar now talking it over. It looked like it was hit right between them, but it wasn't really stung that hard by Turner. Pilar is shading him to right center field, and I think he feels like Hernandez had a better chance at getting that as he peeled off just a little bit and then went ahead and made the play. So they had to talk about that one.
They were both kind of, it looked like, in I'm going to back up the other guy mode, and I don't know if either one of them would have had a chance, but either way it drops in for a double. And here's Bryce Harper 0 for 2. Harper came into the game today 4 for 7 with a couple of doubles in his career against Estrada, but no luck so far today.
There was a time a couple of weeks ago where he was hitting everything hard and he wasn't getting anything to fall for a hit. So he started expanding just a little bit, and when you start expanding the strike zone, that's when hitting becomes very hard. When you swing at good pitches, good things happen. They have pounded the ball up against him so far in the 2 games in this series.
1-2. Changeup foul to back, and you can see just a little bit of resignation from Bryce Harper. Whether he's guessing wrong or not connecting on pitches he thought he should be able to connect on, but he's just not real happy right now. Of course, Estrada's expression rarely, if ever, changes out of the mound. 2-0 Blue Jays. Runner at second, tying run at the plate. Big moment here in the 6th. And you can see right away, as if Marco said, man, I tried to do too much there. Tried to overthrow.
Yeah, and he came out of his delivery. You can see that's why he's turning his body just a little bit, saying, okay, stay over the rubber a little bit longer. Keep that front side closed as long as possible. Make it all work together. When you start to generate or try to generate power, that's when you miss your spots. Just stay over that rubber, make pitches.
He made one there. Fastball over the outside corner, freezing Harper and ending the top of the 6th.
From both sides of the plate since teammate Kendrys Morales did it last year. Solarte said unlike Morales, his stance and his approach exactly the same from the right side and the left side. I asked him why he became a switch hitter. He told me his uncle Roger Cedeno was a switch hitter, so as young as 6 years old he would imitate everything Cedeno did. Solarte told me that you will rarely see him in the video room. He doesn't read scouting reports and only watches video to check in on 2 things: a pitcher's release point and to make sure his lower body's positioned correctly, enough to give him power at the plate. That's it. Dan, he told me Carlos Beltran told him all you need to worry about is watch that baseball. Your job is to see that baseball in your at-bat. Everything else will just fall into place.
It's amazing how different hitters go at hitting, and for Solarte it's just see ball, hit ball. Other guys are watching tons of videotape and get scouting reports and stats and all that, but whatever works for each guy.
Hey, sometimes you can get too much information. You know, it's still a pretty simple game. Like you said, see the ball, hit the ball, right? Now you can add certain things in there that's going to make you feel comfortable, to help you tell yourself certain things that'll help you to succeed. But you know what, Dan? I think the biggest thing for hitters that they have to have is they have to have confidence. If you go into that batter's box and you don't have confidence, if you lack it, if you don't feel like you're the biggest man in the world, you're not going to get a hit.
I think he has confidence.
I think he has confidence.
If I had told you back, say, on March 29th, opening day of the season, that on June 16th, Solarte would be leading the team in hits, home runs, and RBIs, would you ever believe that?
No, not leading. He'd be up there because he'd get a chance to play, and that's what he's getting. Because of some of the injuries to some of the Blue Jays, he's getting a chance to play every day. You know, really back on March 29th. Now we already, let's go back to the beginning of spring training. Did you think he was going to be an everyday player on this team?
I thought 3-4 days a week.
Right. He'd be a guy who can fill in at short and second and third base and get some ABs.
Right past Scherzer, backhanded by Turner, 1 down. He's been a pretty important guy a very important guy on this team, with Travis having spent some time in the minors, with Donaldson having been on the DL twice.
Diaz on the disabled list twice. Gurriel up and down, and Solarte's had a chance to have his name penciled in every day.
As a number 2 hitter or a 3 hitter or a 4 hitter, again, you would have thought, well, I could see him hitting 6, you know, somewhere like that, but he's been important. Here's another guy who's grown into a much larger role. Teoscar Hernandez, a strikeout and a walk today. Check swing foul off, and it's 0-2.
He has thrown some nasty pitches to Teoscar. What you can't do is let that affect you. You gotta know this guy's trying to make a living out there too and make good pitches. It's not like he's had a lot of pitches to hit already this afternoon.
Pretty good hack at a fastball there, but he fouled it off. Scherzer getting up close to 100 pitches here. So Dave Martinez may have to make a decision at some point, at least in terms of does he get somebody up in the bullpen this half inning. Changeup down below the knees, fouled off again by Hernandez. Travis with the home run that has accounted for all of the offense in today's game. Scherzer averaging 107 pitches per start this year, and as Tabby mentioned a while back, 121 is the most that he's thrown.
Got one of the highest whiff percentages, swinging strike rate. I mean, everything. But the Blue Jays have made him work with a little help.
I think in the 3 at-bats today, or 3 plate appearances, I should say, I think Teoscar's taken about 6 pitches.
Yeah.
Right on the outside corner or an inch off, and every single one of them has gone Hernandez's way. Some fastballs, some sliders. You saw frustration in the Washington dugout after that last one.
And then he throws a beauty down and away. Slider, another extended at bat for Teoscar. He walked his last time up. A long at bat against Max Scherzer.
Hernandez making Scherzer wait a little bit. Pitch number 100 upcoming. Will there be a play here for Murphy? There will not. And that's a win. Every 2-strike foul ball is a win for Hernandez.
At the Honda Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Tabby's got this look in his eye right now. You a little hungry?
Nah.
You're always a little hungry.
Burgers are looking pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Scherzer at an even 100. No activity in the Washington pen. And another foul back. How about this?
Now get a base hit after a long at bat like this. You want something more than a moral victory of seeing a lot of pitches. You want yourself a base hit.
And then he took a fastball right at the knees for strike 3 called.
Just would not give in. So determined to get him. Reach back. Fastball right at the knees. You can see him talking to himself, Scherzer, after that one. What a competitor.
Number 9 on the afternoon for Scherzer. Now Kendrys Morales, 0 for 2. Just 5 hits in the game. 3 for the Blue Jays, 2 for the Nationals. And a broken bat. Flair's going to drop into right field for a base hit. Couldn't have dunked it in there any better.
Cut that ball. There's the barrel almost into the outfield out at second base. I mean, the barrel almost went as far as the baseball. But Kendrys will take it. He will pick up the base hit. Watch this ball dive in on his hands and just shatter his bat.
So a 2-out single for Morales brings Pilar to the plate. He struck out in each of his at-bats today, 0 for 2. Scherzer trying to dig a little bit deeper, knowing he's near the end right now.
He has had games of 121 pitches, 114, 113 last time out, got him 7 innings against the Giants. Yeah, with regularity, there's only been 3 games this year where he hasn't thrown 100 pitches, and in all 3 he's thrown 99.
I mean, they've only got 4 hits and he struck out 9, but it feels like they've made him work.
Yes.
There haven't been a lot of, quick outs or 3-pitch strikeouts. There have been a lot of foul balls. Got him up at 105 with 2 down in the 6th inning. Are you surprised that, not that he's in there, we're not surprised he's still in there, but that nobody's even throwing down on the bullpen right now?
Well, I think Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, Davey Martinez, the manager, there they are. They're in constant contact. He's got that score sheet out right now. I think he wants his ace to finish this inning. 2 quick outs, then a hit. Gets him to finish this inning. We'll probably see somebody up. There's still plenty of time for them to get loose.
Ripped foul right over the head of Luis Rivera at third, 2-2.
I think it got one of Toronto's finest. Change up inside over the head of Rivera.
Ooh, right off the right wrist. Two, and he got him. Maybe the last pitch of the afternoon for Max Scherzer. He struck out 10. 2-0 Blue Jays in the end of 6.
The WestJet flight deck for the Dad's Den. Then sit back and watch your Blue Jays and the Washington Nationals in their series finale at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Dan.
Tanner Roark and Sam Gaviglio. Hazel, the pitching matchup tomorrow. Better than 36,000 here this afternoon. Watching Marco Estrada throw a gem thus far. Anthony Rendon, Daniel Murphy, Juan Soto, 4, 5, 6 in the Nationals lineup. And how often have we said it? First pitch strikes from Estrada.
Strike one from Marco with the fastball, well placed. He hasn't really, like you were saying, fallen into any patterns today. That might have been a cutter right there. But he's used the fastball effectively, dropped in a couple of curveballs every now and then, a cutter every now and then, and changeup. They've had 2 players get to second base today. That's it.
Scherzer still in the dugout. The Washington bullpen is up right now, so we'll see how that plays out. 2-0 Blue Jays on the home run by Devon Travis, and on the strength of a great performance thus far from Marco Estrada. Change up pulled foul. Only twice this season, Tabby, has Estrada gotten it out in the 7th inning. He went 7 innings in his first start of the season against the Yankees, and he went 6 2/3 on May the 18th against Oakland. A few at 6 innings and a few less than that. Miller and Suero both in the bullpen. Hop back our way.
Well, he's made it look so easy this afternoon. And because it's a nice afternoon, maybe you push him just a little bit further. I know he's at 90 pitches right now.
Well, if they could get him through this inning, obviously. This will be the Captain Obvious statement of the day. But if they'd love to get him through this inning and only have to go to the bullpen for 2 innings. But are they going to get somebody up right now? Curveball bounced foul. Good at bat here for Rendon.
Yeah, these long at bats, don't make it any easier to get 2 innings out of him. You're right, Danny Barnes, first one up. They've been pretty consistent with that 100 pitch area. Either finishing an inning, in the middle of an inning, starting an inning. You're right around 100 pitches. They're going to get you out.
Tough part of the lineup. And there will be a 10th pitch in this battle between Estrada and Rendon. Three-two again. Down the right field line, and this one is foul. Rendon a walk and a fly ball to left field today. Estrada, that walkie issue, that's the only one he's given up.
In 4 starts, he's only had 2. Yep. That one and one.
And there's another one here. Let's get an update with Jamie Campbell. And they're not just beating people, they're destroying people. Their run differential, we mentioned, is like plus 130 or 140, something like that on the season. Alex Bregman had a big game today. Max Stassi had a big game today. And Dallas Keuchel, who's not been great this year, had a better performance this afternoon.
And the Blue Jays will see him on the next road trip. Marco threw some great pitches that time to Rendon, but just couldn't put him away. Pesky.
11-pitch walk, and here's Daniel Murphy as Barnes continues to throw in the bullpen. 2-0 Blue Jays leading in the top of the 7th. Murphy just back from injury, 1 for 13 on the season. Line to center field. Pilar ranging over to make the catch. And now Estrada will face the rookie Soto. And he's really had his way with Soto so far today. A strikeout and a weak ground ball. A lot of off-speed offerings to the youngster.
He struck him out with a fastball. Surprised him his first time up. 2 strikes, a 1-2 fastball that was right there. And then nothing but changeups the second time up.
Fastball up and away, ball 1. Travis, Diaz talking it over, middle of the infield. They're at double play depth. Outfielders around to the opposite field, especially Pilar. Change up in the dirt, ball 2. Soto's got power. He's got 5 home runs in 68 big league at bats. 2-1.
And he's not getting a fastball. 2-0. He represents the tying run. He's got plenty of power. He hasn't pulled a ball for a home run yet.
He had 14 home runs this year in 152 minor league at bats. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 2-2.
You know, when you get so many changeups and then you finally get a fastball, you want to swing. Here's your chance to do something dramatic. But Marco elevated it on him that time, and he couldn't catch up to it.
The most pitches that Estrada has thrown in a game this year is 108. This is just the 4th time this season he's gone over 100. But they talk about not just the raw number of pitches, but the stress level of the pitches. And there haven't been a lot of base runners on today. So, you know, you could say by major league standards, it's been kind of a low stress afternoon. They're letting them go a little bit farther.
The weather has cooperated. It's not too hot. Oh, it's a big pitch here. 3-2 now. I don't think they're going to start that runner to stay out of the double play. Marco doesn't throw a lot of ground balls.
Short lead by Rendon. Not going anywhere. And it's hit in the air to center field. Pilar is there, makes the catch again. 2 down.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King. Available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
Boy, that looks like fun, except I'd have no shot of standing upright on that. Nor would you.
No. I got no chance. Those guys take those things on waves and things.
Like no chance.
No chance.
Here's Michael A. Taylor. 2 down in the 7th. 2-0 Blue Jays. Runner at first. And Estrada on the outside corner for a strike. Barnes ready if needed. John Gibbons giving him a shot, giving Estrada a shot to get through the 7th inning. On a day where Estrada has been the best he's been all season. Some good defensive plays behind him early, but once it got into the middle innings, Tabby, this has been Marco.
Yeah. Change speeds, pump that fastball change up in there. There's been 1 start this year where he has thrown shutout baseball.
Fell down, threw a strike.
That was at Tampa on May the 6th. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs given up to Tampa Bay.
But as you look back, you see 4 walks in those 6 innings, and the strike to ball ratio not nearly what it is today. 75 strikes, 31 balls, and a strike away from getting out of the top of the 7th. Missed with a change. Again, a Rendon a short lead, 1-2 inside with a fastball, and the count even at 2 balls 2 strikes.
It's a good show me pitch right there. Just back him off the plate a little bit. Show that I'll throw in a fastball in there. Now he can double up or go change up away.
Fastball line to center field. It'll get down for a base hit. Rendon up to second as the inning continues for the Nationals, and John Gibbons is already up on the field and on his way toward the mound. That's going to be all for Estrada today. And Gibby gave him a shot to get out of it. Couldn't finish the 7th. But the best performance of the year for Marco Estrada against a good offensive team. Won't be the first standing ovation he's gotten in this ballpark, but it'll feel good for him nonetheless. Comes into the game, 2 men on, 2 men out.
And John Gibbons has gone to Danny Barnes in this situation lately, and he has delivered. He hasn't given up a run in 2 weeks. 2-1, a 376 earned run average. That's 5 outings.
And he's had a lot of life on his fastball the last couple of times we've seen him.
His fastball's good. He's got a changeup. He's like Marco Estrada in that regard. Throw a little bit of a slider every now and then. Last time out against Tampa Bay, he worked an inning, just gave up a hit, had a strikeout. Took him 13 pitches.
First and second, 2 down. And the changeup hit weakly towards first. Smoke has it. And Danny Barnes with a very big out to finish off the top of the 7th. What a job by Estrada.
winners for the 2018 NHL Awards. Share a magical moment with the NHL's Elite Wednesday right here on Sportsnet. To the home half of the 7th, back up to the booth and check in once again with Dan Schulman and Pat Tabler.
Thank you, Hazel May. And a good ball game today. Great pitching today. The Blue Jays up 2-0. What a performance by Marco Estrada. Max Scherzer is out of the game after 6 innings for the Nationals. And the new pitcher reliever, Wander Suero.
Suero in 13 games. He was signed as a non-drafted free agent back in 2010. He's got a big arm. Big fastball, big curveball. At times the walk rate will go up. But he is the first one out of the bullpen this afternoon for Dave Martinez, trying to keep it a 2-run game.
Aledmus Diaz will lead it off for the Blue Jays, 0 for 2. And look at strike 1. Swing and a miss. And a 90-mile-an-hour slider or cutter there, and it's 0-2. And meanwhile, looking forward to the top of the 8th inning, it looks like Danny Barnes was just asked to get that one out. Tyler Clippard and Aaron Loop are both up. And again, the tricky part with his Washington lineup is how the left-handed batters are staggered. Adam Eaton's due up 2nd. Bryce Harper's due up 4th. Daniel Murphy's due up 6th. So when do you use Loop if you're John Gibbons? He used him against Bryce Harper yesterday, and Harper got a base hit. Only batter Loop faced. Strike 3 call. Diaz says no, that's inside, but that's out number 1.
Suero pitched over a couple of levels last year for the Nationals in their farm system in AA and AAA and had 20 saves. Not afraid to throw that cut fastball right there that catches the inside corner. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think Diaz has an argument.
Luke Maile, the batter now. He struck out and been hit by a pitch. And getting hit by that pitch, one of the key plays in the game. It was a changeup that Scherzer hit him with. And that meant there was a man on when Travis came up and hit the home run. That's all the scoring today. Left-hander Matt Grace is up in the Nationals pen. On the appeal, he went around 1-2.
Scouting report on Suero is got a plus breaking ball, and he's starting to show it off. Curveball. He's got some spin to it.
Well, it seems like every righty coming out of a bullpen these days has a nasty slider that the right-handed batters have to deal with. You probably spent well, you faced a lot of lefties, but boy, it's no fun.
Or they throw 98 miles an hour coming out of the pen. One or the other.
Or both.
Or both if you're Craig Kimbrell.
Ground ball past the mound. Turner to his left. And a jump throw onto first, 2 down. Drive of the game brought to you by the Honda Checkered Flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
We had a feeling it might be a pitcher's duel this afternoon. And usually in pitcher's duel, home runs. Somebody hitting a home run unlocks that 0-0 tie this afternoon. Devon Travis with this afternoon's drive of the game. He singled his first time up, and this 2-run home run has been the only scoring this afternoon.
2 for 2 with a base hit in the homer. And that average is climbing for Travis up to 231 right now. Came in at 217. Hitting over 300 since his return from the minors.
It's funny, he was saying when he hit that home run last night, hey, all I was trying to do was shoot the ball the other way against Gio Gonzalez. But those changeups have a way of catching your bat and catching it out in front, speeding up your bat. But I think it all has to go back to the approach. When he's thinking up the middle or the other way, that's his strength. hitting the ball hard back through the middle. You'll pull the ball naturally if you do that.
I think the good news too is even though he's playing just about every day, no sign of any knee issues. He runs the bases, it looks like pain-free. We've seen him move well on defense and obviously able to load up at the plate. Swing and a miss. Suero gets him, and that's all for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0 going top 8. Of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Best outing of the season for Marco Estrada. Danny Barnes back out there to start the 8th. And Severino pops up a bunt, and Barnes is there to make the play. A welcomed first out on one pitch as Barnes got the last out of the 7th. Back out there to get the first out of the 8th, and now John Gibbons is out of the dugout.
Blue Jays will take this, trying to square around and get a base runner, but Blue Jays have defenders all over the place. Barnes picks it out of the air. He gets the 2 men that he was asked to get. His afternoon is over.
And air and loop coming on for the Jays. Our guest from one of TD's community partners. Aaron Loop on for the Blue Jays with the 1 down here in the top of the 8th.
Loop came in the 8th inning in last night's ball game, faced one batter. Bryce Harper gave up a hit. He came around to score. That edged his ERA up over 4, but no record in 24 1/3 innings for Aaron. We will see how they use this, like we were talking about. Do you use him for Eaton, Turner, and Harper? If it comes to that, you've only got one lefty in the pen.
I would think so. I would think he stays through Harper if it goes that long. Clippard is up. You know, Tepera is the guy in the 9th. If there's a save situation. Harper a couple of batters away right now. Great job by Danny Barnes. Base one hopper rather down to 3rd, and Solarte right there. Oh, snow cone action for Solarte. That's why he's got that smile on his face, and that's a big second out.
Boy, what a game he's putting together. What a series he's putting together against the Nationals. That's 3 really good plays at third base. Second time that he has robbed Eaton. He's creeping in, respecting the bunt, and makes the play over at first base.
So now Trey Turner. Turner 1 for 3, had a double to left center his last time up, one of only 3 hits today for the Nationals. The Blue Jays have 2 runs on only 4 hits. There has not been an error in this game. The Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over a very good Washington Nationals team. If the Blue Jays win today, they will even up their all-time interleague record at 195 and 195. Just missed inside, 3-0. Bryce Harper on deck. Ball 4, just a bit inside, and that's going to bring Harper up, Tabby, as the potential tying run.
He didn't miss by much. That one just off the plate, and now you start thinking, okay, how am I going to get him out? Last night he buried a fastball inside and he fought it off and dumped the ball into the outfield for a base hit. Do you do the same thing? Do you even take a chance coming inside against him?
Harper 0 for 3 today, hitting .217 on the season against lefties, with less power than he's shown against righties this year. Down and in for ball 1. And a strike. More activity in the Washington pen. Ryan Madsen, been around a long time, been a good reliever for a long time. But first things first, Harper 19 home runs on the season. Swing and a miss at a slider, 1-2.
That's the pitch I think that's going to get him. Down and away, that hard slider. Like he's pulling off just a little bit. Got to respect that 19 home runs. That's #1 in the National League. Just throw something now just a little bit further off the plate.
Too far off the plate. Look at those numbers in his career against the Blue Jays, but relatively quiet in the first 2 games of this series. 2-2. Challenged him with a fastball. Pretty good pass added by Harper. Aaron Loop on in relief this inning for Danny Barnes, who picked it up after a great outing by Marco Estrada. Blue Jays looking to make it 2 in a row over the Nationals. Full count. Turner gets a running start. Smoke will come off the bag and play behind him.
Yeah, that guy over at first base, he doesn't mean anything. It's the guy at the plate that you got to deal with and worry about. So play deep, cover that line. Remember, this is the tying run at the plate. No extra base hits.
There goes Turner. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Fastball outer half. Huge out for a loop, and the Blue Jays still lead 2-0. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Really interesting baseball game here today. Marco Estrada, Max Scherzer, Blue Jays up 2-0. What a great job by Danny Barnes and then Aaron Loop in relief to preserve this 2-run lead. And the Jays will come up at the bottom of the 8th with the top of the order due up. Granderson, Smoke, and Solarte, with Suero still on the mound for Washington. Granderson a strikeout, an infield hit, and a fly ball to left field. Now, Tabby, you would expect that Ryan Tepera would be throwing in the bullpen right now. There's nobody there. So does that mean there's something going on with Tepera? Does that mean it's up to Loop and maybe Clipper to try to bring this one home?
Well, we saw Ryan Tepera this morning, and he seemed to be fine. Maybe if they call on one of those guys down there, it's not going to take them that long to get loose.
Yep. Loop faced 3 batters, got a couple of outs. Tepera only threw 14 pitches yesterday. And the Blue Jays were off on Thursday. Should be all right.
Yep.
Swing and a miss to get Granderson 1 down.
Lots of breaking balls you're going to get from Suero. I don't think he's thrown a straight one since he's come in. He's faced 4 batters. He struck out 3 of them.
Well, my friend,
there's your answer.
Ryan Tepera is not going to pitch the 9th inning. Justin Smoke's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom 8. The Devon Travis home run at the bottom of the 5th, still standing up. But I would guess maybe Luke comes back out to face Rendon and Murphy just to get him through that first left-handed batter. Although when Clippard's on, that changeup plays against the left-handed batters.
Yeah, he can
too,
get
so.
left-handed batters out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's been a problem. And I think you have to give guys, if they're used to it, an inning to start.
2 down on the smoke ground out. 4-3 on the putout. Well, it's all going to become clear soon enough. We'll find out one way or another, but obviously there's some reason that Ryan Tepera is not in the game right now. John Gibbons, I'm sure, will be asked about it after the game, no matter how it turns out. So 2 down, and here's Yangervis Solarte, who's 0 for 3. Fly ball, center field, deep, but playable for Taylor. And the Blue Jays are done in the bottom of the 8th. We go top 9 here at Rogers Center. Gates open, and it's going to be Clippard to try to nail it down.
In 2012, they took all 3 games at Rogers Center, and Clippard closed every one of those ball games. He said he doesn't remember a whole lot in that series, but for some reason, he remembers there was like a 40-mile-per-hour wind blowing in his face. He said the wind was blowing in a weird way. It felt like a hurricane on the mound. I asked him how it affected his performance. Clippard laughed and said, "I think it helped my changeup." Now, Clippard had a reason to smile that season. He finished with a career-high 32 saves. So, Dan, no win, but plenty of those dandelion fuzz floating around.
And he's on here to try to get the save, as Hazel mentioned, and obviously something keeping Ryan Tepera out of this game. So this is a job certainly that Clippard has done before in his career. And actually, at the beginning, when Roberto Osuna went on administrative leave, this was the guy they sent out there in the 9th inning initially, but eventually transitioned over to Tepera after a blown save by Clippard. He will face his former team, and the first batter is a former teammate. Anthony Rendon's been around long enough that he played with Clippard back in Washington a few years ago.
4 wins, 2 saves, 6 holds out of the bullpen for Tyler Clippard. And I don't worry too much about the lefty-righty splits when he's on the mound, because he's got enough pitches to get you out. Change-up, splitter, fastball, whatever it takes. He'll figure it out.
Rendon 0 for 1 with a couple of walks today. And 1 for 1 in his career against Clippard. 2-0 Blue Jays, 9th inning. The Blue Jays looking to take the first 2 of the series, looking to extend their home winning streak to 6. 0-2. And a change in right field. Randall Grichuk in for Curtis Granderson. Well, this would mean a lot to a team that was struggling a lot. Swept Baltimore, but then struggled down in Tampa Bay. Picked up a 10-6-5 win in last night's game. But to come out here and have Estrada throw the way that he did, and to scratch out, not scratch out, to get a couple of runs off Scherzer on the Travis home run. High in the air to center field. Pilar still going back. He's got room. Now for a preview of Sportsnet Central, here's Brendan Dunlop. All right, Brendan, thank you. Lots going on. One down, 9th inning. Daniel Murphy 0 for 3. He's seen Clippard a lot. 3 for 13 in his career. As the first pitch changeup comes in low ball 1.
You were talking about what it could do for the Blue Jays, 6-game win streak, blah, blah, blah. Here at home, I always like to go to the mental part of it. Okay. How about if they make this stand up and beat Max Scherzer? I mean, that can go a long way when you're facing the Chris Sales and the David Prices and the Justin Verlanders, people you're going to see over the next few weeks. Scherzer was really good.
He was.
Estrada was better today.
6 2/3 shutout for Estrada. Late swing there by Murphy. Couple of outs for Barnes. A couple of outs for Loop. And one so far for Clippard here in the 9th. Two and two.
You know, when you read bats and you read what Murphy's trying to do there, he knows all about Tyler Clippard. He knows about his changeup and his splitter. That fastball that was fouled back right into the screen over the Blue Jays dugout tells you all you need to know.
And a pop-up. Solarte. And there are 2 down here in the 9th inning. And now Soto, who saw his fair share of Estrada changeups, is probably going to see at least a couple of Clippard changeups.
And one of those splitters. He's got a good one. When it's on, it's really tumbling towards home plate, and it's tough to hit it square.
Often a 2-strike pitch, put away pitch, that splitter for Clippard. There's the change. Change is usually 77 to 79. Splitter's a little bit harder with a little more tumble on it.
And then you got to deal with his fastball. So Clippard's seen it all.
Bryce Harper and the Nationals in jeopardy of losing 2 in a row here in Toronto. Wrap-up game of the series tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. That's the splitter there that he bounced in a ball and a strike.
Yeah, I didn't want to throw that one until he got the 2 strikes. Young kid, he's never seen it before. Save that one until you get the 2 strikes. Maybe you get a strikeout.
Fastball just missed outside. Clippard has 2 saves this season and 63 in his career. Fouled off 2-2. 36,044 here at Rogers Center this afternoon. And they will go home happy today. Clippard picks up the save. Estrada, a well-deserved win. And the Blue Jays win 2-0. Devon Travis accounting for both runs with his 4th home run of the season. Some good defense. Some great pitching. And the Blue Jays have taken 2 in a row from the Washington Nationals.
You knew hits were going to be hard to come by with these 2 pitchers on the mound. The Blue Jays get the one swing that they needed. They only had 4 hits all afternoon long, but the one swing that they needed came from that man right there, Devon Travis. The pitching was outstanding to shut down a very good and shut out a very good Washington Nationals team. They got a chance to sweep them tomorrow afternoon.
Tanner Roark, Sam Gaviglio, the pitching matchup, 2 in a row for the Blue Jays. Let's send it back to the studio now. Time for Sportsnet Central. Here's Brendan Dunlop.